Usually Marta is in here, Valak.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who else is usually in here almost every day. That's kind of it for the daily.
Okay. Well, we can wait a few more minutes, see if we get some other.
What's the topic?
So topic today is financial basics. And actually it looks like Carrie's starting to record. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and we're going to just start going through the material here. Does that sound like a plan?
Works for me. I might not always be paying attention.
Yeah, so we, yeah, no worries. I mean, just, you can hear me though, and you can see my screen, correct?
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to go through financial basics today. And so one of the key things, one of the first things I wanted to jump in, with you, Beth, is what would you like to learn from today? If you could take away one thing from this conversation around financial basics within your business, what would you like to learn?
Well, is this like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes? Long. Is this financial in regards to like running a small business or financial in the real estate world?
Real estate, for the most part, it's real estate world. Yep. So it is. It is around your real estate business, but also, we're going to talk about just managing your business too, right? From a financial standpoint too, because it's all related, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't look at the materials either. Sorry. I've run my own business for 18 years, so I'm not intimidated by small business ownership.
Sure.
I have a pretty good handle on, my personal finances. Obviously, the business will change drastically for me. That, I have reservations about leaving a thriving business in the middle of a pandemic. But with regard to real estate, I mean, I don't know. Let's kind of see. I don't even know. Like I said, I didn't look over. I mean, I have a ton of questions about financing. Like, what does it mean when someone says, well, I don't think this is going to pass muster with FHA and like all those kinds of things? Is this what this covers, or?
It is not. So really it's about the financials of your business. And so like any specific questions regarding mortgage, title, we definitely want to get you directed towards one of our special partner, right? Or specialists.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I have a great deal of personal history with owning a small business that is just me. The only thing I have questions about are like that I need to talk to my own tax guy and accountant are things like, should I become an LLC?
Yep. That's exactly it. Those are things that we'll touch on a little bit. I mean, those are, not to a great deal. We're going to talk more so about the financials of your business. So like when you take in X amount of commission, how do you allocate that for taxes and saving and other avenues as well?
Yeah. And again, I have that experience in a different industry. So I'm hoping a lot of it ties over. Like I run as a sole proprietor right now. And do I change that and all those kinds of things?
Yeah. And there's so many benefits when you set it up as an entity with write-offs and other ways to really reduce your tax burden. It's amazing, so it's definitely worth the conversation with a CPA or a tax specialist. My wife and I are both business owners, respective business owners, and we've saved tens of thousands of dollars, if not over $100,000 in taxes just from working with an accountant, a good accountant. Yeah.
And I've filed as a Schedule C, sole proprietor for 18 years. So yeah, I'm interested. Let's see where it goes. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so if you look at the framework of the class, typically on this, we're going to have an hour of lead gen as well. So I'm assuming you don't take part in that since you're working, obviously, right?
Right. I kind of don't.
Yep. So that's typically what we do towards the tail end of it. And I know they're recording it, so we'll just get to the meat. What we can do is get to the meat of the actual content here. And then unless someone else jumps on, we won't do the lead generation part of it. Part of it's
Perfect.
going to be scripts, which I know you guys work through scripts as well. I'm more than happy to go through a couple of scripts with you if it's just us on here, just so those listening can kind of listen to some of the nuances of the questions.
Okay.
And then they asked about daily success habits. So they asked if the students have completed their daily success habits.
Yeah, I work on that. I don't know. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
when we get to that point. we can
Yeah,
talk
so
more.
I just wanted to at least bring that up to the group to make sure that, that's something that you want to make sure that you do. And then always start thinking as you hear some of this material, what are your top 5 action items that you're going to take from this information? I think we identified one already, right? We'll get you connected with a couple of CPAs. You can connect with them, talk to them about the cost, their value, and it's just good, that could be your number one task, is just talking to a CPA, right?
Yeah, and I have another kind of other interest in speaking to someone about. I'm I have a different house that I do daycare in, which I'm closing the business down, and my daughter's moving in.
Okay.
And I was actually talking to Colleen Healy, because she does some sort of situation with her mother-in-law or something about like having a next of kin living in the house means that I can homestead this house. So I have
Mhm.
to add that to my list of things that I need to talk to someone about.
So I have a really good resource that I can connect you with is we use Business by Design. They're an affordable and amazing CPA firm. And I can get that information out to,
Okay,
I'll get
cool.
it out to Carrie. Actually, the operating partnership of Keller Williams uses them too. That's how I found them. And so they do a lot of KW agent tax returns and tax planning as well. So Business by Design is an incredible company.
Okay.
So this slide really shows, okay, what specifically do successful agents do to grow their business and then run their day-to-day? So from this slide, I see it really as working on your business versus working in your business, right? So this is really really gives you the opportunity to look at how can I build my business as a business owner and then run the day-to-day tactical blocking and tackling as well too. Um, and then this is kind of showing the flow of what we're going to talk about today as well. And this is, we're going to kind of give a high level perspective, which we've talked about in terms of what are we going to learn today regarding your business from a financial standpoint. We're going to hit on the MREA, their millionaire real estate models as well. I don't know if it looks like Janet has come on as well too, but I don't know, have either of you read this book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or do you have it?
No, but I need to get it.
And that I would put on your list of 5 things to do, because this is, I actually got this book bound. So I got it bound because I use it as a manual. It's amazing. So especially if you run another business, you have limited time to be able to run your real estate business. It's more so important that you really dial in on, hey, how can I run this like a business, just like you do with your daycare, so I can be most efficient as well. So yeah, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And then there's a whole series of books out there. If you go to Keller Inc., I-N-K, Keller, Keller, obviously, Keller Inc., INK.com. It has all the books that Gary Keller, Jay Papasan, and their partners have written over the years. But I would start with The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's just amazing. And I do commercial real estate. I started in residential, yet I still use the models and systems as well too. So when you look at this, so when you look at some of the habits for a financially sound business, if you look at this 1 through 6, so why do you think these are important? And I don't know if either of you can interject at all, but why do you think these are important for a financially sound business, be it real estate or any other business?
I mean, for me, if I don't know what I need, like just from a strictly financial perspective, then I
Mhm.
have no way of setting targets or setting
Okay.
price or
Yep, I agree 100%. And I think if you don't know what that goal is, right? Like, here are my expenses, here are my monthly expenses, here's what my monthly net is from my business, allocating for taxes and other savings for expenditures and a solo K or whatever the case may be. I think that first one really hit homes with, setting a profit goal, right? But then also just planning for, it goes all the way from planning monthly and then all the way down to number 6, preparing now for a financially secure future, right?
Yeah, I think the number 6, I like it, and that's
Okay.
that's my goal.
Wonderful. And that's, it's tough because a lot of us, if we're newer agents or if we have another profession, we're like, I just want to get my first deal, right? Or if I want to get my 5th deal, right? You're not necessarily thinking about number 6. You're thinking about, okay, what can I do? What are the activities I can do to just get my first deal? And so that's it's kind of a process, right? But it's these are all important. They're all extremely important to be able to do your planning. But I love the fact that plan with your end in mind regarding your business, but then also plan to prepare for your secure future as well too, and plan, okay, how can I make this a sustainable business so one day I can retire or one day I can work less hours, right?
Exactly.
And the nice thing with real estate is that you, throughout the process, if you have the money saved up, you can buy real estate assets that will create passive income for you, right?
I love
I,
that.
yeah, I
I
love this
love that.
quote. I love this quote. So money is good for the good it can do, right? I think Gary Keller's a testament to this, is the fact that I was just listening to a podcast that he has, and he was talking about one of the biggest money makers for him, well, 2 of them. So one has been investing in real estate and the passive income that he gets from it. But secondly, in the highest producing way that he's created his wealth, and he's a billionaire who owns hundreds of businesses. So he just doesn't make money from Keller Williams. He's got 99 other businesses that he gets passive income from or active income from too. But what he said was that his highest form of leverage is hiring talented people and allowing them to fail forward and do their thing. So one thing that he also said was that for the money, he likes to give back. So he's really looking at, I want to create this wealth to be able to give back and also create bigger lives for the agents, right? So he's really passionate. And I think both of you can see within the Keller Williams family that really they give back to the agents. They focus on training. Just like the agents like myself who are giving back and teaching this course is, we want to give back and really share what we've experienced. I've been here for 7 years, and Keller Williams has done a ton for myself and my family and my wealth as well too. So and actually running and setting up a business, which is critical. So I love this quote because at the end of the day, we work for a reason, right? We work for our big why, we work for our families, we work for our future, and that's why we do what we do. Hey, Martha, how you doing?
Oh, good. Okay, I thought that I was mute. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. No, I just saw your name pop up, so thanks for joining us.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for jumping on.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So we got three of you here with me today, and then we're recording. So we're going to go through just to let you both know, we're going to go through the course, and then I know that 2 of the 3 are currently working their other jobs as well. So I don't know with you, Martha, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through the material. We're going to go through some of the scripts. And then once we're done, we're going to have you spend time, whoever's available, you can spend time to do your lead generation. And then we'll just ask that you submit your numbers. If you are able to do the lead generation, submit your numbers to Matt and Alec as well. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So next here, on the slide here, I want to ask you a question. So look at these 2 sides here, right? So look at the both sides. Which one of these is either financially sound or financially unsound? Which one would you think is financially sound after looking at these 2 scenarios, the left one and the right one?
Okay, let me put this here.
if you were looking at it from as a business owner, right?
The right hand,
Correct. And why is that?
because you should always funnel business profits through your business bank account first.
Okay, that's great. I love that. Martha, your thoughts on that? Or Janet?
I agree with Beth. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Janet.
Yeah, I was saying that I agree with Beth about it. I think the right one is the most. It sounds more like financially
Okay.
better.
Hey, can I interject a question right here?
Sure.
If I already have a business account, she is, should I open a separate account as Beth Jackson Realtor? Or like, is that a common practice, or do people just have one?
It is. It is a common practice. Either you have the parent company, if you will, and then separate entities under that, or you do. I mean, I would recommend a separate LLC, a separate account, because you're going to want to run all your expenses through that specific bank account.
Okay, and so far I've run all my real estate expenses through my childcare account. So I better split that out pretty soon.
You would. I
haven't made
would.
any
Yep.
yet, so
Yeah, no, I would, and that's a great question, because it's so much easier for your accountant. Like for me personally, I have my Summit Real Estate Group in a separate account, and I have a separate debit card. So any expenses I incur for my business, I use that card. And if it's not business related, then I use my personal card. And my wife does the same. She has her separate, she consults at, she's a healthcare consultant. So she's independent. And so she runs it all through her business or through our family expenses. And if you take it a step further, we have QuickBooks that's tied to our account. And so all of our expenses actually runs through from the checking account to our QuickBooks, and then it's allocated into certain categories. And then my bookkeeper goes through QuickBooks, and she can see on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, annual basis, where all my expenses are. So it just helps to make the whole tax planning process seamless. So they can see the income coming in. So in this case, right? So you're right. So the financially sound one is on the right side, right? So they show the commission, and then after your company dollar royalties are paid out, and then after whatever else is taken out there, right? If it's going to be, wherever that other money's coming out, then X amount is going to the business account. And in this case, she's paying herself a salary of $4,032 of that. So a certain percentage of that is salary. And then she allocates X amount of taxes that she needs to take out as well. Because you don't want to get the surprise from Uncle Sam, right? That you owe X amount. And a lot of agents get that at the end of the year. They're like, hey, you owe us $27,000 in taxes, and they don't have it, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So how is that thing about the QuickBook?
Yep. Yeah. So we said it's an online software, and super easy to set up. And I can definitely I can get you more information. It's QuickBooks Online is the name of the service, and it's an amazing, pretty inexpensive tool. I think I spent $40 a month or $30 a month for it, and it's all online. And
Okay.
it's an amazing tool to organize your revenue, expenses, and then all the tax planning around it too.
Nice. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. We used to have a spreadsheet that we did, but it manages the process that much better. Yep. So here's kind of going through that, as we talked about, the expenses and taxes are accounted for. So this is really what we're aiming for with this class, right? For you to understand and really embrace a smart model for this as well too. So we want to make sure that you pay your taxes, want to make sure you allocate it for savings as well. Like personally, I have a solo case set up. So I allocate X amount of each commission after taxes that are actually pre-tax that I put into a solo K, right? And so that's essentially your own 401k that you can set up and, you know, for savings for your business. So next thing we're going to go through is the MREA models as well. So with the new people that join, have you read this book or do you have this book? MREA?
Yeah.
I have it.
Okay. So one thing that Beth and I talked about was we want to make sure that as you're kind of going through this, I want to make sure that you start doing a list of things that you're going to do. What are your top 5 action items that you're going to do as a result of this class? And if you have not purchased the book, I would make that as your first step. If you have purchased the book, but it's starting to gather dust, I would read the book. Maybe read the first 10 pages, right? So if you guys can commit to that, that book will definitely change the trajectory of your real estate business. I 100% predict that and guarantee that. It has for me, it has for a lot of agents, a lot of top producers as well too. So definitely read that book because we're going to be going through those models within the book. And here's the economic model. So this is kind of the crux of what we're going to be talking about. You know, in terms of some of the analysis here, right? So and I just want to disclaim here, they're allocating 40%, actually 40% towards taxes on this, which is high, in my opinion. Your taxes more than likely are not going to be at a 40% rate, but that's what they allocate here. And then they allocate a 40% profit, right? So that is accurate. So this is showing that 100% of your gross income, so you get $10,000, right? So this is a scenario where if you get a $10,000 commission check, cost of sales, so who knows what cost of sales includes? What would that be?
Photography.
It'd be your company dollar, and then it'd be your royalty fee. Yep. So it's going to be, so for all of us, it's what, $20,000, right, is our cap for the year. And then $3,000 is going to be our royalty fee. So the 20,000, so like on $10,000 commission, you're going to pay 30% company dollar, which is going to be 3,000. And then actually it'd be a little bit more than 3,000 because you're paying company dollar on top of that as well, right? But that's at 6%. So you'd be paying $3,600 if you haven't capped or paid anything towards your company dollar or royalty. But in this case, for simpler dollars, it's 3,000, right? So say your cap is 20,000, you paid 3,000, so your remaining cap is going to be $17,000. And then your operating expenses. What are some examples of operating expenses that you can think of?
The $89 that we have to pay monthly,
Yep. Yep.
gas,
Exactly. Those are like,
car too, no?
exactly. Yep. Yep. Association dues as well, right? Technology. You know, if you have a,
SPAR.
exactly. Those are all operating expenses. Transaction coordinator, if you use Shannon, you know, those kind of things too. So that's your operating expense. And then at the bottom is your profit, right? So let me ask you, so does 40% of your income feel like a reasonable percentage to have it left over for profit?
No.
No? What would you want?
From 10,000, I would like to have like 8,000.
Okay.
I'm greedy.
What do you think? What do you think, Beth? So like, how would this compare to a daycare in terms of net, your net that you would take out of a daycare? You don't have to give us specific numbers, but percentage is 40%. If you netted 40% pre-tax, would that be a good number?
Mm.
And I don't know if I know she's working, so I don't know if she has the capability to talk, but you know, 40% is actually pretty strong. I mean, if you look at other industries, a lot of other industries, if they can get 10%, 20%, that's high. So 40%, I mean, real estate is a good industry to be in from a profit margin standpoint. And you can streamline a lot of these, right? And also your cost of sales, a lot of companies, they charge you a percentage on every single deal. Whereas with Keller Williams, you're capped, right? You only pay $23,000 per year, and then you get 100%. So this is going to go away. Your cost of sales is going to go away once you cap. Like for me personally, I cap, so my cap month is January, and I cap typically by February. So I have 10 months of 100% where I don't pay the cap. So it's a great business model to be part of.
Yes, I have a question about that. Like,
Yeah.
but you are in a team, right?
I run my team. Yep.
Oh, you run your team. So
Exactly. Yep.
is that easier for you or faster for you to cap, or is that the same?
You know, I've been in the business for a while too, so I have a history of business as well. And
Yeah.
then my team members do help me because of their production. I get a certain percentage, right? So that applies towards my
Got
cap,
it.
right? Yep.
Okay.
However, I incur the expenses, so I have a lot of expenses up front. So I take the risk of running the business, right? And
Mhm.
so if I don't sell anything, I still have those expenses running my
Got it.
business. So,
Yeah,
yep,
makes
yep.
sense.
So
Yeah,
I
thank you,
wanted,
Big. I'm sorry.
I wanted to show you these two. So what do you guys think of when I show you this for the flow of money? These two different graphs here or charts. What comes to mind when I show you that? Is your goal income for the business or is your goal profit? So what's your end
Profit.
goal? Profit. Exactly. Right. So if we can start with the profit in mind, right? So if we know, hey, we want to start with, I want to profit 100,000, right? So I want my net to be 100,000. So you think of it that way, like how much money do I want in my bank account at the end of the year? That's a question there, right? And then so how many homes do I need to sell to get to that point? And then how can I minimize my expenses to maximize my net income as well? So that's what you want to look. How can I run lean and mean to be able to run my business to be able to maximize my profit? So I just want you all to really think, how can I lead with profit and really think about how am I thinking profit instead of what's the top line revenue or income I'm going to bring in as well too. It's just a really good way to think about it. So let's talk about some of your income sources. So what are some of the ways that you can make income for your real estate business? They're listed below, so I made it easy for you. Who wants to read those off?
I will.
Okay.
It says the income from your real estate business. Commission earned from closed transactions. Number 1, listing income. Number 2, sales income. 3, referral income. And 4, leasing income.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for reading that. And one thing I wanted to jump in specifically was referral income. So I personally have paid out over 300 and we're at about $330,000 in referrals back to KW agents for commercial referrals. So the KW agents that have sent referrals to my group for commercial deals, I send them a 25% referral, and that has totaled over $330,000 in referral income to those residential agents. And for me, that has helped me sell an additional $13 million in sales income for my business. So one form of referral income is for you if you have anyone that either owns a commercial building that they want to sell, if they want to invest in commercial real estate, if they want to lease out their commercial property, then that's an opportunity for you. Also, if you know of someone looking to move to Phoenix, Arizona, down to down to somewhere in Florida, right? Or down to Alaska. You can refer that person over to a KW agent in one of those respective states, and you can get paid a referral. You can also lease property, right? So these are all different types of income that you can generate with, you know, with your real estate business. So it's not just one source, which is nice. Let's see here. I'm going to check the chat. Okay, Martha's going to listen, won't be able to talk. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All
Hi,
right, so
Chad.
next.
Excuse me. Hi, Chad.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi, good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I have a question. How can we lease the property? I didn't know that we are able to lease the properties.
Yeah, so that I don't do residential leasing, so that would be a question for Matt and Alec. But I do know that you know, someone's looking to lease out their residential property. Typically, we are able to help them out. That would be a question for Matt or Alec.
Okay, I will ask him then. Thank you.
Yeah. So and thanks for the question. We lease commercial space, but from a residential standpoint, I'm not 100% sure. You can talk to Alec or Matt.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Okay, let's talk about expenses. So when we talk about expenses, so what goes out of your business? So what are some of the expenses? And we list them here. So some of the expenses that go out of your business are company dollar, royalty fees, and again, they're capped. So at least you know, hey, they're going to cap at $23,000 per year, and then I'm going to be 100% from then on, which is amazing. And then also some other things are splits to either employees or independent contractors that are involved in the sale, right? So if you use a transaction coordinator, if you use a showing assistant, if you use, you know, like say you got a referral, right, on the listing, you need to pay a referral to another agent from another state who might have referred them to you. Those are ways that are going to be that you're going to have expenses that are least coming out of each transaction that you make. Do these make sense? And then again, so if you don't have a transaction, you're not going to have a cost of sales. So these costs of sales are not operating expenses, right? So these are only things that are involved in the or related to the transaction that are costs of sales coming out of the commissions that you receive. So then as we go into here, so let's dig into the cost of sales. So we're going to dig into this a little bit more as well too. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through, this is a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy for me, but so like for instance, say we have our gross commission income of $10,000, right? So what's 30% of $10,000?
3,000.
3,000 bucks, right? Thank you. And then our royalty. So what's our royalty if we're not capped? So 6% of 10,000 is
600.
600 bucks. So 10,000 minus those, we're going to be at 6,400 bucks, right? And then if you capped on both, you're going to be 10,000. So your number 3 down here is going to be 10 grand if you've already capped, which is the beauty of capping as well. And so this is just kind of a quick exercise of if you do cap. So let's talk about this too. So if $3,600 of each transaction comes out before you cap, right? And then of the royalty, you're going to be capped at 3,000. So 5 transactions will cap your royalty. And for the 3,000, about 6.5 transactions will cap you for the 20,000 in company dollar. So by 6 transactions, 6.5, you're going to be capped, and then you'll be 100%. So that's how you want to kind of think about it is about 6 to 7 transactions, and typically comes out to, I think, 2.2 million, 2.2 million, 2 to 2.5 million in production. And what's your average sales price? Is it around 300,000 for average sales price? I think that's what the average is in the Twin Cities. So that falls in line pretty closely with our about seven-ish transactions to be able to cap.
So with, I'm sorry, with 7 transactions, like around 300K each. So you're saying that you will cap? I'm sorry, I
We'll
wasn't.
cap. Yep, exactly. So on a $10,000 commission. So the way they factored it was, you know, if you're, and again, a $10,000 commission is going to be over a $300,000 average, right? But, you know, say 10,000 is your average commission. In that case, it's going to be about, it'll be about 6.5, 7 transactions. Now, if you're, you know, say our average deal size is 3,000, right? Or $300,000, and your average commission is going to be $9,000, right? Say you get paid on average 3%, $9,000. So if 30% of that, so $2,700 for going against your company dollar, right? So you want to take 20,000 of your cap divided by 2,700. So that's about 7.5 transactions for you to cap.
Thank you.
And that's based on a $300,000 sale at 3% commission.
Thank you.
Yep. So you always want to be thinking about that, right? So you want, and that's how you can kind of back into, okay, if I want to cap, right, I'm going to need to do at least say 7.5 transactions. And then everything after that 7 to 8 transactions is going to be 100% up until my cap date, right? So if you're in your cap anniversary, like say it's January, right? So say it takes you 7 months to cap, you're going to be 5 months at 100%. And then once January hits, you're going to start over. And that's the only money that that the market center, you know, takes from the transaction outside of the broker admin commission, which is $3.99 per transaction. So next we're going to talk about building your future. So this is going to be to help to determine your profit goal. So we're going to be working backwards from the profit to determine your activities. Okay. So we're going to go look at what's your net profit goal. And then we're going to divide that by 60% for what our gross profit goal is. And then we're going to divide that by 40% for your gross commission income. And then we're going to look at, okay, my average commission income, which in this case is $7,500. And then we're going to back out the royalty and the company dollar. And then we're going to look at what is our operating expense. So in this scenario, we're going to look at, say we want a net profit goal of 100,000. Okay. So we're going to look at what my net profit after taxes is going to be 100,000. So that means that if I divide that by 60%, so 60% of that, taking 40% out for taxes. And again, as we talked about, 40% is pretty high for taxes. So it's going to be, it more than likely be lower, especially if you have your deductions and everything factored in there in terms of what your tax implication is. But we're just going to, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to divide by 60. And then, so this shows what your gross commission income, GCI, will need to be to net 100,000. So if you don't need to net 100 after taxes, cut it in half, or maybe cut it in quarters, right? So say you just want a gross commission income of $100,000, right? Where a lot of us thinking 416,000 in gross commission, that's a lot if I'm just starting out, right? So if you figure 25% of this, what if I want a net after taxes 25,000? So then this will be a little over 100,000. This will be 104,000, which is totally doable. You know, for you to get that in your gross commission income. But we're going to use these bigger numbers, and then I'll jump back and forth between, let's say, 100,000 gross commission to 416. So in this case, if you're going to be netting 100, grossing 416, you're going to need to sell 56 homes. However, if you want to do 25% of that, right? If you want to gross 104,000 in gross commission income, what's 56 divided by, you know, what's 25% of that? So 56 times 25. So that's 14 homes. So you'd be a little bit over a home a month for you to have a gross commission income of 100,000 and for you to net 25,000. Do these numbers all make sense? I like using more, you know, a little smaller number for newer agents, just because, again, this can be overwhelming for people. Do you guys agree with that? And then what we're going to do is we show 23,000. So your cap plus your royalty. So here's what we're showing for that. And then we're looking at, in this case, so someone selling 416,000 in gross commission income, their expenses, operating expenses at 30% will be this. So this number is 30% of that. So say you're doing 100,000 in gross commission income, this would be only 25%. So it'd be like 25 grand. Do these numbers make sense to you? Or what's your ahas from this? Nobody's talked, so I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is this overwhelming or like hieroglyphics, or what do you guys think with this? It's kind of confusing. It can be confusing.
It is a little bit, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so the key things you want to take away though is, what's my net? Like at the end of the day, how much is I going to net after taxes, right? So if I know, is that going to pay, if this is either a side hustle or your full-time gig, is that going to pay what I need to pay, right? What my monthly bills are, what my annual bills are, right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, that's what you really want to look at, right? It's like, how many homes do I need to sell, and how much do I need to net for this? So that's what you want to think about. What do you all have for goals in terms of number of homes you want to sell this year?
Me?
Yeah, everyone. I mean, what kind of goals do you guys have for number of homes to sell this year?
My transaction goal is somewhere between 11 and 14.
Okay, perfect. I love it. And what are you at so far this year?
Big fat goose egg. I have a closing the end of the month. The thing is, I
Hey.
gotta work this job full time until July 2nd.
Okay.
14 weeks and a day and a half, but who's counting?
Hey, you know what though? A lot of times, you know, first quarter's slower anyways, right? So first quarter's a little bit slower. So if your goal, like say, let's round your number to 12, right? So if your goal is 12 homes or units you want to sell every year, that's one a month, right? So if you get one by the end of this month, when your goal was 3 for this quarter,
Yep.
you're just going to need to add, either do, you know, 2 in April, 2 in May, or 1, 2, 2, right? Just thinking about it that way, where you just need to
Yep.
move those 2 that you didn't have for Q1, move them into Q2. And if for some reason you don't get those additional 2 in Q2, add whatever to the next one, right? And but it's good to have that number. And I think that's a realistic number, is, hey, if I can hit 1 deal a month, maybe I don't hit 1 this month, but I'm going to hit 2 the next month, right? Or maybe I hit 3 this month and I can slack a little bit the next month, right? But you're right. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to have two different areas of focus and to be able to even hit one a month. But it's doable. It's definitely doable. That's why you just want to be able to, have this framework. Who else? What are some of your goals for homes you're going to sell this year?
Well, for me are 14 homes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last year it was my first year, so I wanted to sell 24. I think I was dreaming. I thought it was easier.
Yeah.
So, and then I realized that that's not easy at all. So this year I want to be a little bit more realistic.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna start by doing what I make at the hospital, because one of my goals is eventually, just get a part-time at the hospital and do this like a full-time. But I think I'm doing this like a full-time job, because I'm doing more than 40 hours a week. So, but
Good for you.
I think it's more of my time to learn the stuff and
Yep.
to attend all these classes. So like right now, these classes are just perfect for me, because I just changed my shift at the hospital, so I'm done at noon.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
yeah, but the ones that are earlier than that, so I'm missing those most of the time, and I think I could learn a lot more and put more in practice. So
Yeah, and the fact that you are all here is testament to you wanting to invest your time into knowledge and learning the business too. So kudos to you for showing up, and kudos to
Thank
those
you.
that listen to the recording as well, because you're a step further and closer to your goal. So good for you. I wish I had this when I started in 2001 when I got into real estate, because I took the leap from a high paid corporate sales job and said, yeah, I'm going to jump into real estate. And so I took a dip, right? I joined a team, and I was able to ramp up quickly, and then I went and started my own team in 2 years. Yet having these tools and this focus and getting the framework in place, the first thing is your database, right? So you want to make sure you have your database and make sure that's in place as well too. That's the key thing, is doing that. So wanted to jump to some best practices, and that kind of segues into this as well too. So what jumps out here for you guys? I'll give you guys a couple of minutes here just to kind of look through these. And actually, I'll read these off as you're kind of looking through. But best practices for setting yourself up for success. You can gain clarity in your big life hopes and dreams, set up your personal and business budgets, set up your personal business entity or LLC or S Corp, open an additional bank account for taxes, expenses, and savings, which we've talked about. You can download and use the MREA chart of accounts, which my accountant uses that too. So they're well versed in that. You can purchase or download tax accounting software like QuickBooks online. I would recommend, if you do it, get the online version, because you can automatically connect it to your online checking account. So I have mine automatically going into my Wells Fargo account. You can hire an accountant, CPA, or attorney. Set dates to calculate and pay your estimated taxes. Oops. I'm going to go back. And then prepare for your future: insurance, savings, real estate investing. So if I could have a couple of you say just what jumps out to you? What would you see as your number one best practice that you're going to execute on out of this list?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you let us know which documents we should keep to get maximum tax deduction? Which type of documents we should keep for this?
Which type of entity?
Yeah, documents like expenses, which type of expenses will be important for us? Because I'm a new realtor, so I don't know. I'm not good at tax stuff, so. could you-
Yeah, my best answer for that, since I'm not a tax professional, is to definitely connect with an accountant or CPA. And I was mentioning to Beth, I use Business by Design, and Paul Miller's the owner of the company. I can connect you all with one of the contacts there as well. They have myself set up as I'm set up as an LLC, but I record my taxes as an S corp is how I set it up, and that works for me. It's different for everyone.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We should probably see the information, contact information, then keep in touch.
Yep, definitely. And what I will do is I'm going to send my contact for Business by Design to, I'll set that to leadership at the office, and I'll have them send that out to the entire Ignite group.
Okay, great. And also, if it is possible, could you send us this PowerPoint documents? Then we can do some math when we do
Definitely.
our calculator, so it will make more sense.
Yep, definitely. Definitely we'll do that. Anyone else have any key one that they're kind of a key takeaway from this that they're gonna make an action item?
Well, I will say I would like to purchase and download the tax accounting software.
Okay,
Or
wonderful. Yeah, check it out. I think it's called QuickBooks Pro online. It's like 30 some bucks a month or something like that. Super cheap.
yeah, I
All
will
right.
do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explore opening a new business account, and I can't remember. I'll talk to my credit union, but I think I had to have like DBAs and Secretary of State stuff for that. I can't remember. So that's on my to-do list.
That's wonderful. I love that, Beth. And yeah, so Secretary of State is where you register your business entity or your business name or entity name or get that set up. And so that's where you can go in and actually get your business entity set up. And then and I would work together to make sure with your accountant that they're in line to make sure you had the the correlation there between is it an LLC or what type of entity.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of homework to do because I don't know if I need a new EIN or if I can just use the EIN I already have. Yeah, I have a lot of work to do.
You might be, yeah, in a lot of cases, you might be able to keep the employee ID number and then just do a DBA, one DBA for real estate and one for daycare. You might be able to do that and then have two different checking accounts to make sure you allocate those funds because you have different write-offs and expenses for daycare versus real estate.
Yeah, and I think this year I'd have two Schedule Cs, two separate Schedule Cs, assuming I make
Okay.
money. I know
Okay.
that much.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You're way ahead. You're way ahead. You're thinking of it. Good job. So then here we want to talk a little bit about what are some ahas kind of that we've taken away from this. We're almost an hour in. And so as you think about, I mean, this can kind of be a mind exploder, right? Where it's like, oh man, if someone talks about finance, numbers, a lot of people, their eyes gloss over, or they're just kind of like, phew, right? I mean, we only contain a small percentage of the information that's presented to us when it comes to finance and numbers. It's even less, right? Just because it's kind of a foreign language for a lot of us, and it's not comfortable for a lot of us either. So as we're going through this, has your thinking changed? Has how you feel about financial basics changed? And then most importantly, with any training I do, again, we need to have our top 10 action list. What specifically am I going to do as a result of this information to move to increase or get 1% better tomorrow and then 1% better the next day? And we talked about that, right? So we talked about, I'm going to talk to Business by Design. I'm going to go to the Secretary of State site and get an entity registered. I'm going to look into QuickBooks software. I'm going to, what else do we have? What else did I miss? I'm going to look through and really look at what are my operating expenses and start tracking them, right? I'm going to set up a checking account, right? It's free. It's super easy to do. Did I miss anything else in terms of the actions or kind of what's your thoughts? From
I'm
your
gonna buy
thought,
the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book.
I love it. And once you do that on page 157, they actually have a breakdown on what's your cost of sales and what are your expenses as well too. They have, I mean, this is your Bible for how do you run. And don't be intimidated by Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, right? This is for agents of all levels. It's for agents that might sell 1 to 2 deals a year or units a year. It's agents that sell thousands a year, right? So don't be intimidated by the name, but if you follow the principles, it can apply to agents, new agents or mega agents as well. So does this data scare you all? Does it get you excited? Does it stress you out? What are you guys taking
For
away?
me,
from
it's
some of this?
exciting.
It's exciting?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Who else?
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah, it's interesting because I never thought this way before I came to KW. I was at Remax or Remax Commercial for 10 years before I came to Keller Williams. We never talked about this stuff. So for 10 years, I ran my business, ran a strong business, yet I didn't take advantage of tax savings or write-offs as good as or as well as I could have, right? So I did not best maximize my tax deductions. I did not leverage real estate to be able to make passive income and that kind of thing. So kudos to you all for coming into real estate early enough where you are actually talking about these things, because you're going to save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax benefits once you take the action to talk to a tax accountant. And then you're just going to be more well organized as well too with your software, and just to be able to organize this as well too. And you're going to know your numbers. You're going to know like Beth needs 14 deals per year to be able to get to the point where she's going to hit her net number, right? And then Martha needs X amount of deals per year, right? And so we're all going to know, here's how many homes I need to sell. Here's how many referrals I need to send to Chad for commercial deals to make 25%, which is super, super free money for you, right? And all these different income streams that you can start building. All right. So now the next thing, so these are the things so you guys have been talking about these different metrics, right? You guys talk about these different metrics throughout Ignite every week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, or every day, I should say, right? So with this training, you guys are going through this. Number of contacts added to your database, number of conversations that you're having every day regarding real estate. And is that phone conversations face-to-face? Does that count text as well? I don't know. What does that count? Does
Yes,
the text
it
count
does.
too?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right, perfect. Handwritten notes. This is my secret for you guys. Who here goes to Target?
Wait,
Actually-
before you say anything, Chad, I've brought you up in these trainings before and your handwritten note to me, just so you know.
Have you really?
Yeah,
I love it. Thank you. Did you get one of my handwritten notes?
I did, and it matters. I still have it.
I love it.
Me
So
too.
thank you.
Someone else got it too?
Yeah, thank you.
That is so cool.
And to be honest, I never thank you because I didn't know who was Chad before. Like that was like
That is
when
so
I just
funny.
started, and I was like, who's Chad? Who's that? And, then
You know what?
like a couple months later, I knew it was you.
I
But
love
the
that.
first, yeah, but thank you. It feels, really good,
Yeah, and people don't do handwritten note cards anymore. I can literally I can allocate. So this box right here, you can get a Target. I don't even know how much it was, like 15 bucks or something like that. Literally this box, and I go through at least 2 of these a year. This box every year probably makes me about 25 grand a year, at least, in gross commission income, probably more.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we do other things like if I get a referral, you guys see that? So if I get a referral, we send out thanks a latte, and then we send out a $5 Starbucks card, right? And just things like that, where it's like that extra special touch, it goes a long way. I mean, you need to do it consistently though, right? And that's the key, is just doing it consistently. And I fail forward with it because I've missed it, and I've you know, but I have it on my calendar. So every week I'm like, did you send out your cards to the new agents, and did you just send out your thanks a latte cards as well? And again, it's a $5 Starbucks card that I send out. So that adds up, but that's an expense of doing business, right? So good. I'm glad some of you have seen them, and I appreciate you talking about that. You know, another one's the home previews. I think this is great. If you don't get out and look at properties, and if you don't get out and actually see what the inventory looks like within your respective neighborhood or farm area, then you're really missing out. You definitely are. I do this on the commercial side. Actually, I do this for my investing business too. So I've actually started to allocate half a day a week just to go preview investment properties that my wife and I may buy. And then I analyze at least 1 to 2 deals a week now, because I've been talking about buying investment property. We haven't done it consistently enough. So I'm actually doing that. So, but for your real estate business, if you can preview X amount per week, 10 a week, 10 handwritten note cards, 10 new conversations a day is what I would recommend. Don't just call the same people 10 every day, right? Have 10 new conversations, and then add them to command, right? So you want to add them to command, and then you want to add a task. That's the key thing for me, at least. I use command, and when I put them in there, I put a task on there. If it's not going to be tomorrow, I do it, you know, like a month out. I talk to them, I'm going to call them again in a month, right? So that's the key thing. So then you get that reminder every day from command. That's your accountability, is I got to call Joe. I got to call Joe. And if you keep pushing it forward, it's going to remind you to call Joe tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, right? And that's what the most successful agents do, is it gets to be a habit, and it gets almost to boredom, where you're like, I know how to do this. It's so consistent, it's almost boring. But on the opposite side of boredom is greatness, right? And when a lot of people are getting to a point where like, God, I hate doing this every day in, every day out, just wait, because that next day is going to be when you get that $500,000 listing, or that next day is when you're going to write 2 purchase agreements. It happens. Trust me. I've enough gray hair to show for it. But the consistency of doing this stuff definitely works. Okay, so now we're going to talk about scripts, right? Some people hate scripts, some people love scripts. So why do you think it's important to learn and then internalize scripts? Why do you think people talk about scripts? I know for me, it helps me to lead gen, right? So if I know what my script is when I'm calling someone, it's going to sound less like a script. So the more I practice it and the more I do it and kind of fail forward with it, the easier it is in my mind. So it's just natural, right? And the less it's going to sound scripty, if you will, to a prospect. And so a good one for me is like, hey, Beth, we haven't talked in a while. So say Beth is an inactive client that I've done a deal with like a year and a half ago, right? And I'm almost embarrassed I haven't called her for a year and a half, right? And I'm like, hey, Beth, how you doing? How's that daycare going?
Hey, Chad, it's going well. I'm actually closing my business down.
You are? So what are you doing?
I'm getting, oh, I'll just make up a different story. I'm selling this house and I'm retiring.
Good for you. I love that. What are you going to be doing in retirement?
We're buying a Sprinter van and converting it and gonna live on the road for a while.
That is so cool. Where's the first place that you're going to travel to?
Montana.
Montana. I love it. So you
Yeah,
hike?
my brother
You like
just
to
bought-
hike? Or?
Yeah, my brother just bought 10 acres in Fishtail, Montana. So we're going.
I love it. I love the fact that you're able to retire and just go kind of live each day as you want, right? Probably no alarm clock. You're just going to wake up when the sun rises.
Yes, sir.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, I wanted to call, and first and foremost, sadly, I have not called you in a year and a half since I helped you sell that property. So I apologize. I should be staying in touch with you more regularly. So
That's
first and
okay.
foremost, I apologize because it's my job and responsibility to keep you updated on what we're doing as well too. Hopefully you've gotten our monthly e-newsletter because we try to update, or we do update our clients that way.
Yeah, I
But,
get that, but I never open it.
Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable. But one quick question for you is, do you know of anyone within your sphere that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I might be able to talk to?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I need to, we're thinking about selling this house that we're living in.
That's great. That's great. And what's your timing to make a move and retire?
I don't know, the next 6 months or so.
Okay. Okay. Have you guys done any updates to the property over the last year or 2 years since?
Not in the last, no, not
Okay.
since we bought the house.
Okay. Well, one good thing is that prices have increased tremendously, right? So in the year and a half since you last purchased a property, you're definitely going to see some sizable appreciation and growth as well, especially in your area with the schools and with the just buying it right too. I know we were able to get you a pretty good deal. So what I would love to do is I would love to schedule a time when I can stop over and check out the home. I'm actually going to be in that area. I've got a meeting next Friday at 9 o'clock. So would you be available like 10:30 next Friday?
Yeah, I should be able to make myself available.
Okay, perfect. And then would your husband be there as well too, so we could all meet?
No, he will not be
We
available.
won't. Okay. Okay. That's all right. I mean, we can meet, we can sit down and chat, do another walkthrough of the property. And then what I'd love to do is go through and do some comparables. And then I'd love to sit down and chat with both you and your husband at another date, maybe a week later. And then we can
Okay.
walk through some of the comparables. And then I can update you on our marketing plan too, because we've changed things a little bit. And I'd love to, do that. But why don't we plan on that? We'll plan for 10:30 next Friday and look forward to seeing you again.
Great, sounds good.
Great. End scene. Okay. I mean, that was easy, obviously, 'cause she said she's selling, but you're just a natural conversation, right? And it's amazing how many people, if you haven't talked to them, they're going to forget who you are, right? Sadly, they're going to forget who you are. And like she said, yeah, I see your monthly newsletter. I don't read it though. But hopefully she sees the summit group, right? And then, but the thing is, if you would have called her every quarter, maybe you would have known about this. Or if you would text her maybe once a quarter or text her twice a year, or if you sent something in the mail to her once a year, she would have seen that, right? At the end of the year. But even the fact that you're calling her a year and a half later, means it could be an opportunity for you. And that conversation is not that hard, is it?
No,
Yeah. And even if it's not a past client or an inactive client, it could be just say, hey, Beth, just wanted to touch base with you. I'm calling all of my sphere of influence, all of my network, and just letting you know, the real estate's crazy right now, right? There just are not any homes available out there for buyers. I'm just reaching out to my friends and family. Have you or anyone you know of, have you thought about selling? Because it's crazy. And you could match, it's crazy how much you could sell your property for. Are you interested in valuation of your home, or do you know of anyone that might be? You know, that's a pretty easy script, right? You want to hear a rebuttal though. Here's what I would tell that person. Yeah, I would love to sell my house for the highest price. Where can I go if there aren't any to buy? What would you all say to that? Like if I rebuttal with that, yeah, I'd love to sell, but where am I going to go? What would you say to that? Who wants to jump in? And
That we could put contingencies in place that protect you with need to sell your home or rent backs or something.
so the sale is contingent on finding the next home. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Anyone else have a rebuttal for that?
I think that's the best one, isn't it?
The what?
I think that's the best, like
Oh, the
that
best one.
contingency. Yeah.
Okay, yep. I love that. I know one thing, my wife and I just sold our house and we're building, right? So, you know, maybe new constructions in the cards for them as well too, right? We're seeing a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people are moving into residential new construction as well. But I like the contingency idea because really the seller's in the driver's seat, right? And, you know, seller's market in this respect. So, so anyways, yeah, I mean, that's just from a script standpoint, just make it as simple as possible. Don't try to sell them right away. Just make sure that when you're calling them to check in, make sure that, you're, hey, I just want to check in and I just want to check and see how you guys are doing, right? Especially with COVID. It's like, man, a lot of my friends and family and clients they're really struggling right now. How are you guys doing? Right? And just really don't even ask about, I mean, you could even just check in, right? And then end the conversation with, hey, just one more thing. Do you know of anyone that might be looking to sell? Because we have such low inventory. Is there anyone that you think would be worthwhile for me to call as I'm calling through my network? You know, just maybe add it to the end so you don't start with it, because you don't want to sound salesy. You want to sound like, hey, how can I add value to you, right? Or hey, Martha, I just wanted to check in, see how you and your family's doing. Is there anything I could do to help you, right? People just like to be, you know, feel like they're needed and feel like, you know, there's someone there to help them out. So that's kind of our script practice. Since we're not in a room where we can kind of do some real play or script practicing, you guys find value in that? Hopefully you did. So this is the point where we would jump on calls and do our lead gen. And I would ask those that can, I know we have at least 2 of you are at your other job, right? So you can't necessarily jump on the phones and start to lead gen. But this is a point where if you're able to, I would like you to, we'll get off the Zoom, but I'd like you to jump and make your phone calls, right? So make your phone calls and then go through and then let us know about some wins. So if you could send a message to Matt or Alec on any wins, and then I want you to track these things. So I want you to track your calls out, number of calls out, connects, how many of those people connected with you, and then appointments and leads. So calls out, how many people did you call out, phone call or even text, right? Call or text. How many people did you connect with either on the phone, or how many called you back you had a conversation with? How many people responded to your text? How many people did you set an appointment up with? Either, hey, let's do a Zoom call, or hey, yeah, I'm thinking of selling, let's meet. Or how many people did you get a lead from? So I called Martha, she wasn't interested, but her friend Beth is interested, right? That's a lead. Or hey, I can't talk right now, but let's schedule a time to talk. That's an appointment, right? So do that over the next hour and then send your results to Alec or Matt and let them know how you did. You guys promise to do that? If not today, if you don't have time today, make sure that you get that information to Alec and to Matt as well too. And then that's going to be your update and your follow-up as well. And then we want to talk about your success list, right? So I want to end with this. If each of you could come off mute and then just let me know what is that what are those one or two action items that you specifically are going to take away from this and are going to do. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. This is Beth. I'm gonna
Okay,
call
perfect.
my bank today. I can do that and find out what I need, if I do need anything in addition to open just another extended account number under my account. I don't know. And then
Love
I'm
it.
gonna look into whether I need a DBA or assume name or something.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Those are two great ones. Who's next?
Well, I'm gonna, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get the, what's the software that we were talking about?
Yep, QuickBooks.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna start doing more like handwriting notes.
Got it.
I need to do that. And I know how, it feels. It feels good when you receive one of those. So I'm gonna start doing it.
I love it. You know what your first lead domino can be is go to Target and buy one of these. Why don't we just start with that?
Yeah,
And the
that's
brand, here's the brand, Spirits.
spirits.
Spirits, yep.
Okay.
So just go to Target and buy it.
Yes, I will.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank
else?
you.
Anyone else want to share?
I can share. Yeah, I'm also going to check the QuickBooks Pro online.
Okay.
It makes sense. And also I should take some information about the LLC companies, because I had a LLC for myself, but it's not active for 3 years. So I should ask them, is it gonna make sense to active my LLC company, or should I choose a different way? Which one will be make more sense?
Perfect. I love that. That's great. And I'm going to get my contact info for Business by Design. So I will get that to, I'll get it to Heather. And then I'm going to send her the information, the QuickBooks software. I'll send both of those to Heather.
Yes.
And I'll ask her to send it to all the Ignite members as well.
Great. Yeah, I
Yep.
can ask her or him.
And
Great.
then I'm going to I'll send the name of these handwritten note cards as well too to everyone.
Mhm. Perfect. Thanks so much. It's really helpful. Yeah, all the informations are great for us probably. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing. Martha, do you want to share?
I think she wrote something on the chat.
Oh,
She
she can't
wasn't
talk.
feel.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, no worries. No worries. No, that's good. And that's the key thing. So the key thing that we definitely want to make sure that we have the specific actionable items from all these classes, because you guys are, let's look at the calendar. So you guys are on the 18th, and you guys are going to graduate next Thursday, right? So you guys have gone through, is that correct? Yeah. So you guys have gone through 3, 6, 9, 12 classes. You'll graduate next week. And these topics that you guys have gone through is amazing. I mean, your databases, your business, your value proposition, seller leads, prospecting, financial basics. If you can just take a little bit, take 1 to 2 action items out of all those classes and implement, you're going to be leagues ahead of the competition. So you got to be proud of the fact that you guys are taking the time to do this. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. And again, if you have the time, I know a lot of us don't have the time right now to be able to do the lead gen, so we're not going to do it like via Zoom or anything. So I'll just trust that you guys are going to spend an hour of lead gen time. Make sure to hit those metrics of calls out, connects, appointments, and leads. Make sure you report that information to Alec and Matt, and then just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure to focus in on your database, put everything in your database as well. And at the end of the day, just make sure that you're running this as a business. So you want to make sure that you're running your real estate business as a business. If you've got 1 hour a week to do it or 100 hours a week to do it, just make sure you're running it as if it's a business, right? And one final thing I want to share with you guys. This is an amazing document that if you guys are, let me know if you're interested in this. So this is something called, this is a net worth tracker. Can you guys see this?
No, we can't see.
You can't see my screen? Can you see that it says debts right here?
It says that you have started the screen sharing, but I can't see anything.
Okay, let me see. Let me try it again. Here we go. Let's try this. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see, so what this is called the, do you see up here, it says make a copy first network tracker? Jane Doe?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. If you guys are interested, I can share this with you. It's called the network tracker. And so what this is a tool that my wife and I use and this is a template where you can put in whatever you want, right? So we enter in all of our debts and then we enter in all of our assets. And what it does is it calculates your net worth. And once you start putting data into this, it actually shows a pie chart here, which is pretty cool. And then what you do is you start tracking it. So like you start tracking, okay, on this date. So like if today we started tracking this, and then next month you start seeing the trajectory of the change of your net worth. This is an amazing tool because it shows the progress that you're making to reduce some of your debts, and then B, to start increasing some of your assets. Either, hey, I added another $5,000 this last month into my IRA, or I paid down $5,000 in college funds, right? And then these are all like, hey, I paid down $1,500 on my Honda, or whatever the case, right? And it
I love it.
Do you guys like this? Would you want me to share this with the group?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
This has changed. And you know what the cool part is that my wife and I looked through this together, either over a glass of wine or over, just chilling, right? We're like, hey, let's go in and see how much our net worth has increased. Sorry, someone was saying something.
My daughter was. She was making
Oh.
fun of me.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
How it sounded like very excited. Yes, please.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. So it's, and again, even if it's negative, right? You got to start somewhere. So even if you just want to look at this yourself and just say, hey, I'm surprised at how much my net worth is, or, hey, I got some work to do. Like a couple of years ago, I never would have wanted to, or actually before I came to KW, I probably wouldn't have wanted to look at this. Fast forward 7 years from now, and I'm like, I'm excited to look at this every month because I'm purposeful about, hey, I'm building this every month, right? And it kind of backs up to, hey, I know my real estate numbers. I know how many homes or properties I need to sell. I know what I need to net, because I can take this back to here to, hey, I can increase my asset, my net worth by this amount. I can reduce my bad debt and add on good debt, right? Anyways, this has been, I just wanted to share with you all because we're focused on finance. And at the end of the day, you want to be able to track your net worth, not only for you, but for your family and for your family's family, right? And so if you guys are interested, I'll share this with you. It's a good thing to track, right? It's kind of outside of a little bit outside of our topic for today, but I had a mentor that shared this with me, and they had a mentor that shared this with them. And actually, the person that shared this with me, her real estate team does 37 million a year. Her and her husband flip and make $500,000 a year in flips every year, and they own about 5 million in rental income. So that's who shared it with me, and I'm striving to try to get to that point, right?
You
And
should
so-
you should give us a class about flipping.
Yeah,
Please.
that would actually be that, and I'm not the expert in that. I could definitely get you in front of someone who is, but just there's so many different avenues that we can all go, and it all starts with your real estate business, right? So it
Mhm.
all starts with building a big, healthy real estate business where you can take that active earned income out of your real estate business and do these other things. It's got to start with that, right? So if you're building a big business and know what your net is with your real estate business, you can take it into any of these other avenues and you should build a life so big, like Gary said,
Mhm.
right? Build a life so big that you're able to, jump in the RV and go wherever the heck you want to Montana, or you can donate $1 million a year to the charity of your choice, right? You
Mhm.
can wake up when the sun rises. So just think of it that way. When you're starting to think about your business, don't just think, hey, I just want to do 100 grand a year in gross commission income. Think, hey, can I give 100 grand a year away? So I want to challenge you all to think bigger when you're starting to build the foundation of your business, because sky's the limit. I mean, if you implement these things in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, if you implement these, you can be as big or as small as you want. So I'm a dreamer, so I like to help everyone else dream. And if that helps you all dream a little bit, the sky's the limit in terms of what you're able to accomplish. So
So true.
that's all I have for today. Hopefully you found some value in this. I really hope you do. And one other thing that I need to share with you is you're going to get an Ignite survey. Actually, let me see if I can share my screen here for you guys to see it. You're going to get a survey. So if you like this, definitely give some thumbs up and praise. I'd appreciate it. If you didn't like it or didn't like parts of it, still give a like. No, I'm just kidding. Give your recommendation on how it could change, right? Because we always want to continue to improve this. But you're going to see, I don't have the slides up, you're going to see a survey. So definitely, if you can go to the survey and give your opinions on it, I would appreciate it. And I just thank you all for joining today too, because it's a pleasure to be in business with all you, and I wish you the best on your lead gen and building your business.
Thank you for taking the time to, give us this class. I really appreciate it. We are learning a lot.
That's great. I love it. And if you guys have any questions at all, you guys can reach out to me anytime. It's Chad Hare at kwcommercial.com. Chad Hare at kwcommercial.com. And I'm always available. I'm hopeful you'll see my, my cards here in the mail if you haven't already. And again, my door is always open if you guys have any questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.